All right, well, it is time for us to take a look at some of our national and international headlines for this Wednesday morning. Did you hear about the bombings in Kabul? This is the Afghan government center, right? And there were twin blasts right near the parliament building. There were almost 40 people killed. I think 38 people killed, some 70-some wounded. And all of this against the backdrop of it. Basically, they were targeting safe houses and other intelligence facilities. They're going after the spies. A former French foreign minister says that Russia has taken control of the situation in the Middle East and the West is losing control. Jeff Sessions, in appearing before the Senate yesterday, denied any sympathies with the KKK. Also, there's a report that was published in the Pravda newspaper, that's in Russia, saying that anti-Semitism in the United States is on the rise, but it's more sophisticated than the anti-Semitism in Europe, which is also on the rise. The defense minister of Russia has ordered the numbers up to keep on target with Army and Navy rearmament for not just this coming year, but also 2018 through 2025, a big increase in the number of weapons going to the Russian military. Also, there is a story in Russia today about Venezuela, where Nicolas Maduro, the president, has been stripped of his duties because of failure to perform them. Kind of an interesting little political twist there. Also, an expert has come forward saying that Russia is not inferior in any way to the United States when it comes to cyberspace. Interesting, because as a Russian speaker, I learned a long time ago that Russians think a lot differently than Westerners in general. I mean, it's just a lot of it is the way the language is formed. For instance, they don't have the verb to be in the present tense like we do. And so a lot of the stuff that we don't understand about them come from our own misunderstanding of their language. If you look at what they can do with math, it's phenomenal. So this idea that somehow we are spurring on some cyber war with Russia, it's something to keep an eye on. And lastly, Clare Hollingworth. I don't know if you recognize her name. She was a British war correspondent born in 1911. She's just passed away at the age of 105. She was actually the one who broke the news of World War II because she was traveling from Poland across the border into Germany in 1939, and she saw hundreds of tanks on the border. And so she wrote about it, and so she was the first one to break the news, the fact that, hey, Germany's about to invade Poland. Look at all these troops build up. Something which then you put in light of today's events, and you see all of the military buildup around the world. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that we're headed towards something. You want to see my commentary today? It has to be about being less political. It seems like everyone wants somebody else to be less political. They don't want the artists to be political. They don't want the actors to be political. They don't want the bakers to be political. They don't want anyone to be political except themselves. We'll talk about that, and if you have a question for me, a news tip, or a suggestion for a commentary, send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Number of different ways for you to be involved as a partner, either through Patreon, or by buying a direct subscription, or by purchasing an advertisement on one of my podcasts. Hit me up once again on email, steve@radiofreespeech.com, and tell all your friends.